Hello, yeah, another beer review. I'm not working this week, so I got time on my hands. And I feel like having a beer. It's been a rough day. So tonight's beer is another beer that I have not had. And that would be Turbo Reaper IPA by Floyd's Brewery out of Munster, Indiana. That's right, Midwest brewery for a change. They're almost all East Coast or West Coast, seems like. But there are a few in between that are noteworthy, and I don't really know much about this. I haven't drank a lot of their beers, but they have a good reputation for making good beer. And I just thought I'd try it. I felt like doing I wanted to do a strong IPA because, quite frankly, I had a little bit of a sore throat when I bought this. And I've got this long COVID stuff going on, and it's no fun. Some days I feel like I'm totally better, and then I was doing a job interview tonight. Went to Auburn for a job interview for a job in a warehouse. It actually paid pretty well. And I got sick during the interview. I think stress caused it. It's got a sore throat that just come out of nowhere, and just my whole head just. And hopefully it didn't ruin my interview, but if it did, it did. So when I left there, I stopped at D&L Truck Stop to look for something cold and strong, and this is what I got: Turbo Reaper IPA by Floyd's Brewery. Pardon me, I most likely will not post this. Reasonably priced, a little over $11 for a 6-pack. At the time of this video, that's a pretty reasonable price for, IPAs. And here's the can. Trying to get this thing open. Really glued it. They got good glue in Indiana. Yeah, looks like a dragon with some dude with a sword. Can't tell if he's riding the dragon or if he's slaying the dragon or trying to. Hopefully they're just riding it. Can't everybody get along? Maybe he and the dragon, or maybe whatever. That's the can. And and this is what their website has to say about this beer. While I'm setting up my soldiers here at the cross. Oh. Okay. All right. So, going to get to the beer. This is good. This is going to be a quick review. I bought this beer and I just wanted something cold with some hops for my throat. And decided to go ahead and why not make another beer review. I just posted one. I've been praying for Christian content. Right now I don't have any inspiration for that, though that doesn't mean my faith is any less. It is not. I'm not going to just post things for the sake of posting things when it comes to God's work. I've got to feel inspired. All right, so let's see what this smells like. If I can smell it. I can smell it. It definitely smells like an IPA. That's to say, citrus, kind of grassy. Yeah, the IPA, the hops come through, and some malt and hops come through pretty strong on this, as I would expect. They say it's a West Coast style IPA, and then they just say it's an IPA, India Pale Ale. So I don't think it's India Pale Ale. The whole West Coast style that's kind of it's a style, I would say. Some of the West Coast breweries embody that, obviously. Sierra Nevada comes to mind. And a few other really good brewers out on the West Coast. And there's some very good breweries on the East Coast. Well, here's one from the Midwest. So it smells like hops. That's to say citrusy, pine, grapefruit, a little bit of malt. Let's see what it looks like. It's a blonde beer with a lot of carbonation. And at 7% alcohol, I would expect it's got a lot of body too, a fair amount of body. That doesn't come from nowhere. All right. That's a hell of a head on there. A little bit hazy. I had this beer in my freezer for a bit, trying to get it cold real quick. It's cold. It's not real cold. I just got home a couple hours ago. My job that I interviewed for is a night shift job. So I met with the night shift supervisor. And everybody was so young. I swear, even the supervisor looked like he was 30, if that. And the guys I saw riding around on these forklifts, they looked like they were in their 20s. And it's getting to a point. I'm going to open another one just so I can top this off. It's getting to a point where I realize when I left that place, my working days are numbered. I mean, pretty soon I won't be able to get these jobs. I retired Army, 20 years Army. I did some other things after the Army. And so I'm drawing a pension, early Social Security, I admit. And I'm just doing other jobs. I'm working these blue-collar jobs for something to do and for a little extra income for projects and things. It's always nice to have a little extra income and something to do besides sit around and do beer reviews. Because trust me, if I had to work tomorrow, I would not be doing this. I wouldn't. I ain't got to work tomorrow. I just got to wake up feeling okay. The sore throat seems to have left, and I swear it seems like stress brings it on. And I got long COVID, I guess. It's been almost 3 months since I came down with COVID. Not quite. And this has happened to a lot of people. A lot of people. And they've got the same complaints. Sore throat, sinuses, months after they had COVID. Just make the best of it. And I am. All right, so there's the beer. An amber, you see it. Actually, the color representation on this camera is very accurate. So what you're seeing is what I'm seeing, pretty much. Now I gotta say, that's where this Sony ZV-1 definitely beats my cell phone. And the ZV-1's a couple of years old at this point. But it still does a much better job than my brand new cell phone, top line Samsung cell phone. My phone does very great pictures and videos, but for what I'm doing here, it can't even come close. So sometimes it pays to put a little investment in a camera and tripod and learn how to use it if you're going to be doing this, posting video content. Well, let's see what we got here. Look at the head on that. Hold on a second. Speaking of cell phone, where's my phone? All right. Well, I wanted to take a picture of that beautiful head. And that is what you call a rocky head on a beer. You know, they would refer to that as a rocky head. The way it's kind of the surface is kind of lumpy. Yeah, it's very nice. Now, their website did not say what type of grains they put in this, but I'll tell you what, they got that part right, that's for sure. Okay, I guess it's time to take a drink. Wow. That's pretty good. The hops come forward completely. I don't know, how do you describe it? Kind of sour grapefruit. There is grapefruit. But the grapefruit is not overpowering because I, for one, do not like a lot of grapefruit flavor in hops. But most IPAs have that to some extent. And it's definitely in this, but it's not overpowering. Medium bodied. The head hangs in there. It's a very good IPA, to tell you the truth. Very good IPA. Look at the lacing on the mug. They definitely, Three Floyd's Brewery definitely has it down when it comes to this lacing. I don't know when the last time I saw lacing that good on a amazing. That warrants another photograph. After I take another drink. Oh, man. Look at the lacing here. I'll be sure and get that picture posted to you so you can see from my perspective. All in all, this is a superb IPA. And I've had a good luck lately. The one I reviewed last night, the Obituary Oatmeal Stout from Northway Brewery was outstanding. This beer, I can tell you for an IPA, is also outstanding. And the beers I've had before that were just, I drank one can and that's it. They're sitting in my kitchen. They're tucked away like I got a place for all the rejected beers. And some of them were pretty expensive. And I didn't like them at all. I don't care, but this is very good, and so was the beer I had last night. Very good. Easy drinking, in spite it's got a lot of like the sour hops. Kind of a sour, some people would say grassy. What's that mean? I don't think I've ever eaten grass, not knowingly. Straw, grassy, I don't know, kind of a earthy, sour, pungent sourness. And then there's the grapefruit kind of bitterness, tang, and a little bit of a hint of sweetness, malt sweetness. Pretty well balanced, but it's an IPA, and the hops come through as an IPA should, because that's what it's really about. But you don't want so much hops. They do balance. You've got to balance it some with the malt. So this is a very good example of an IPA. West Coast IPA, and I judge a West Coast IPA by IPAs from West Coast breweries. Sierra Nevada comes to mind. Stone comes to mind, and others. I don't know if I'd call it a West Coast IPA in that regard, but this beer checks all the other boxes very well, and I do recommend this beer at this point. I don't know what it's going to do for my sore throat, but Sore throat went bye-bye. Hope it stays that way. I've got another friend who, they said they weren't sure if they had COVID or not, but they were quite sick 3 months ago and they had the same exact complaints. They said it just keeps coming back. Something will get you someday, one day or the other. You know, here's my stone cross that I carved. I think I'm going to do more of these and kind of work on this. And I think I'm going to work on with 3 crosses, you know, with a taller one in the center. And when I'm suffering, it really does me well to think of what Jesus went through on the cross. You know, I had a bad sinus problem and I had a really bad nosebleed a few days ago. It was quite alarming. I thought, how did Jesus feel when his blood was spilt? I mean, all over the place. You know, he loved his life and his body too, you know. He was only 33. And his blood was spilt all over the place, from head to toe. And some grievous wounds to, of course, his hands and feet, where he was nailed to that heavy wooden cross that he was forced to carry after they'd beaten him like they did and humiliated him, mocked him. And even a crown of thorns rammed into his head that caused wounds. And then, of course, when you look at the Shroud of Turin and you see, you know, the x-rays they did of it, and it shows the actual whip marks on the body. And I do believe this is authentic. Whether you do or not, I'm just talking. It's my video. You believe what you want. But you look at how he was, he must have been a bloody mess. He must have been red with blood from head to toe. So I just got to remember what he went through. And I've just lost some people. And my dog, it's still fresh with me. And they suffered. It's just part of life, isn't it? I mean, some people check out pretty easy and some people suffer a lot. And what's this got to do with this? Well, I bought this beer because I had a really bad sore throat a few hours. It just came on real sudden. Oh, kind of better. It did help it a little bit. This is pretty good. Kind of, honestly, for me, a bit of a cheesy can with the dragon and the guy. I don't know if he's riding it or he's on top of it with a sword. So, I mean, I get it. It's like kind of for a younger, everybody's younger than me anymore, it seems like. For a younger group, you know, younger group of beer drinkers, my replacements. But this is very good. This is quite good. Not the best I've had, but it's right up there. I mean, when you think of all the beers, it's kind of hard to say which one's the best. Because if this is the best up here, there are so many that are right here. And I can't actually think of one that's at a perfect 10. But there's so many beers that I would rate like 9.5 and up. So we'll say I would give this one a 9.4, 9 somewhere around there. It's very good. Maybe a 9.5. It's very, very well done, this one. Across the board. And I particularly, myself, like the lacing on this. Really good lacing. Example of lacing with this beer. It's refreshing, honestly. It's got a lot of flavor. It's medium bodied. It's mostly you get the hops, but there is a hint of sweetness from the malt up front. It's quite refreshing. And it's visually refreshing too. Photo shoot for the thumbnail. Get this beer for the thumbnail. There. Well, I think it's just about time to chug a lug on this. I do highly recommend this beer if you're looking for a refreshing, well-made IPA. I do recommend this. Tell me in the comments if you watch this, if I post this. I should probably post my reviews of beers I don't like at all. Really, I don't know why I don't. Well, because I don't enjoy making them. You know, if I spend $15 on some IPA or stout or whatever it is, and I don't like it at all to the point that I'm not even going to drink the stuff, it's no fun making a review. But maybe I should post those just so you know, hey, don't buy this beer, it's awful. There are a lot of awful beers out there, quite frankly, that sell. Price I'm finding is not a foreteller of greatness in beers, especially with new breweries. Upstart breweries. They usually want quite a bit for their beer. And I dare say, in my experience, half the time it's not good beer. But like yesterday, Northway Brewing up in northern New York, their Obituary Stout, I never heard of them. It was $16 for 4 cans of that stuff, pint cans. And quite frankly, it was some of the best stout I've ever had for its kind. Oatmeal stout, it was outstanding, stout standing. So you buy beer from an unknown brewer, you're taking a roll of the dice, but that's kind of fun in a way, you know? Kind of like buying a scratch-off lottery ticket. You figure you're probably going to lose, but who knows? You may hit the jackpot and get a good one. You know what I mean. So, all right, to the murky depths. Boy, this is good.